Hello everyone, this is Mr. Obvious, bringing you the obvious. And today on the Twitters, Alyssa Milano has a message for you. Hashtag sex strike. You heard that right, folks. Our reproductive rights are being erased. Until women have legal control over our own bodies, we just cannot risk pregnancy. Join me by not having sex until we get our bodily autonomy back. I'm calling for a hashtag sex strike. Pass it on. And here you can see a wonderful little graphic. It's a pink X because, pink apparently is only for girls. How unprogressive. Hashtag sex strike. If our choices are denied, so are yours. Gone. Thought? And as you can see, this has 10,000 retweets and 30,000 likes. Holy moly, folks. There's people out there who are taking this seriously. But you know what the funniest part of all this is? You know what the really hilarious part is? To all the Republicans and the right-wingers out there, all the people that this is apparently against and about, it's what we wanted all along. Yes, you heard that right, folks. The thought police have always wanted all of these women to stop being so promiscuous and to actually have modesty, to stop sleeping with every Chad they meet on Tinder, so that society can actually stop being degenerate and start being wholesome. It seems like the entire value of sex and relationships has been devalued in modern society. Whatever happened to monogamy? Whatever happened to staying with one person the rest of your life? Because we live in a society of post-feminism, things have gotten very bad. Higher divorce rates, broken families. You know how it is. So let's check out this thread, and then we're going to look at what hacker 4chan thinks of all this. Because trust me, folks, these women are actually doing exactly what we wanted them to do. It's kind of ironic. Tony Schaefer says, I had no idea that condoms and birth control pills are being outlawed. Please let us know where this is happening. And abstinence apparently works as well. You have lost no rights. You are spouting propaganda and justification for the murder of innocent baboos. You are evil. Thought destroyed. The Persistence says, I fully support this pro-life cause. Next meme. Save America says, this is a unifying cause. You see, in the ridiculousness in their crazy far-left heads, the sex strike is about punishing those incels, punishing those right-wingers, punishing those pro-lifers, punishing Republicans. But this is literally what they've been arguing for. Hey, if you don't want to get pregnant, maybe, just maybe, you should have safe sex. And maybe, just maybe, have less sex to begin with. Oh, those dying traditional values are reviving from the grave as we speak. Feminist Next Door says, please stop feeding the narrative that women are providers and men are consumers of sex. Bribing men for equal rights with access to our bodies is not how feminism works. Are you sure? That's the funniest thing about all this. There's a lot of women out there who claim to be feminists, who claim to be pro-women's rights, but at the end of the day, they reduce themselves to nothing but a circular, hollow object where things insert into, like a keyhole. That is honestly the easiest way to debunk a feminist is when they say something like this, is to reply with the obvious. So you're saying that a woman's only value is her body? It's funny, because this fits evolution, like so many things. If you look at evolutionary biology, everything makes sense. Women, they get to choose who to sleep with, right? Most of the time. They get to choose who to mate with, and they're picky because, well, all females in nature are picky. Men generally have to perform, they have to be high in the hierarchy, or simply a good performer. It's a dance, It takes two to tango. You know what I'm saying? It's like sex bots, right? All the feminists, they get so mad, they get so triggered over the sex bots, like, oh, can it cook for you? Can it clean for you? No, it can't. Like, isn't it amazing that with the threat of sex bots, all of a sudden these feminists want to start acting like good women, like good partners, good wives who actually nurture and care for the one they're with. Isn't that insane? Melody Snyder says, and this is coming from a female, the only positive to come from the sex strike is unwanted pregnancies that women are aborting. I wholeheartedly agree that all women should go on the strike if they want to kill a child after a night of carelessness. Again, man, isn't it crazy how most of modern feminism can be summed up in 5 words? I will not take responsibility. Yes, because if women actually had to be responsible for their actions, that would be oppressive. That would be horrible. The patriarchy must be stopped, folks. And that's what's sad about all this. Feminism has been corrupted. And I would argue that in a lot of ways it was always a corruption by cultural Marxism. And now we're throwing out human decency, we're throwing out prudence, we're throwing out being, a logical human being an adult, being responsible for your own actions, owning up to your own mistakes. And that's controversial. It's controversial now to be a good person. I really wish I could find it, folks. But there was a post out there by the hacker 4chan that explained something like this. Isn't it amazing that a backwater site like 4chan of all places have become the defenders of traditional values, of human decency, and of truth? That the world has gone so insane that the people who used to be the degenerates, the counterculture, have actually become the civil people of society. The world's gone so upside down that the counterculture is now upholding traditional values. And I actually found a post that describes what I was saying. Let's take a look. Shit. So are we the good guys now? And in replies, Paul has always taken the contrarian view to society. The ideas on Paul have always been the opposite to what society approves of. The fact that the topics on here are now about free speech, traditionalism, and respecting the people should tell you all you need to know about society as it exists today. Paul became the good guy when society became the bad guy. Steve Steele says, seriously, I don't get the downside here. Pro-choice feminist. If we can't kill our unborn babies anymore, we won't have sex anymore. Pro-life conservative. Wasn't that the idea all along? It's working. I'm loving this hashtag sex strike idea. Fewer abortions. Vote Dem for the Planet tries to attack this man, and this is what she says. The strike includes men like you. You just advertise to the world you'll be an incel. Steve Steele replies, I don't plan to have sex with anyone but my wife anyway, so we're good. Thanks. And this is when the thought is absolutely obliterated. Absolutely smashed. But she replies anyway with a snarky reply because, she's been destroyed, but she's got a safe face, right? Vote Dem for the Planet says, until she wakes up. Swami comes in and obliterates her. Perhaps stay abstinent from comedy too. There, Brazil. Shannon Schlafer says, amazing idea. Pro-lifers have been saying that abstinence is the best form of birth control. Glad you finally caught on, sweetie. Absolute sweetie. Now, at PPFA can go out of business since they won't be able to profit from abortions. It's a win-win. I absolutely agree. Reproductive rights. Here is a medical infographic on the abortion process. As you can see, put in some tongs. You tear apart a fetus until it is nothing but mush. Reproductive rights, folks. All hail Moloch.
I hear you, my son.
So the most surprising thing about this entire hashtag sex strike is that they're being obliterated on Twitter, on a highly left-wing biased website with almost no free speech. Isn't it amazing? It's almost as if the majority of people don't actually support, blood sacrifices for the blood god of unborn children. And the replies from feminists are even more hilarious. Christy Coulter says, living under patriarchy has already robbed me of safety, autonomy, opportunities, and trust in our institutions. You're just insecure. Now I'm supposed to give up sex too and play into the fiction that it's just a bargaining chip / transaction for women? Love you, but nope. So even the most die-hard feminists do not agree with her. They're not going to give up the carousel, if you know what I'm saying. So before we get into this thread here on the twatters, let's go to the real boards. Let's go to hacker 4chan. Hashtag sex strike. Annan says, women will stop having sex with you now. Your move, Paul. This was our move, restricting abortion to force women to be more sexually responsible. It's too easy, Desu. Yeah, your master plan is sure going to affect all those incels you keep talking about. Great scheme. Radicalize the moderates. Another Annan says, we totally support their decision to not be sluts anymore and instead abstain from raunchy, immoral, and degenerate behavior. Congratulations, women. We agree with you. You're on your way to becoming fine ladies. Another Annan says, they only go on sex strike for people they were never going to have sex with anyway. There's no such thing as a sex strike when it comes to Chad. Women will begin cannibalizing each other when the first one crosses the picket line to hook up with Chad. The strike, like most women... Okay. Now, this is a pretty good thread, mostly just making fun of the whole situation. And there's some pretty good, there are some really good points in here. And I'm going to cover what's safe for the platforms that I'm on. Let's see. I'm failing to see the downside here. So another Anon posts this spicy meme, and it says, in reply to the post, LMAO. If women had self-discipline to abstain from sex, we wouldn't have a demand for abortions in the first place. Now I want to add that I'm definitely not against the sexy times, but how hard is it to use a condom? Why are all these people getting pregnant in the first place? That's the real question. And may I remind you, hacker 4chan himself actually spread a hoax before trying to encourage women to have less sex. Hashtag vote Trump get dumped. Ladies, it's our time to wield our influence, all of it. So there was literally a similar hoax campaign by 4chan to get women to break up with their boyfriends and thus have less sex. So, yeah, this lady is actually doing 4chan's job for them. And here's what gets me about the regressive left. Here's what gets me about all the extreme feminists. If you actually look at the numbers, men and women have very similar thoughts on abortion. About 20% of males and females think that abortion should be illegal outright. Now, I don't agree with that, but I don't think it should be, I mean, it's murder. You're canceling out a future life. There's no way to get around it. Sure, legalize it. I'm all for that, but I don't think you should have a clean conscience. You know, have some level of responsibility for what you've done. Now, there's also a good amount of the population that's pro-choice. Pro-abortion, you know. Pro-choice is how they make it sound nicer. 50% of women, 46% of men believe that abortion should be legal. However, a surprising number of people are also pro-life. 44% of women, 47% of men. So the regressive lefties and the feminists have to be insane to think that, well, everyone agrees with me. Everyone has this opinion. Sleeping giant, wakey wakey. The truth is quite the opposite. There's actually a lot of disagreements over abortion, and it's definitely an important moral issue. I, for one, maintain the following. Abortion's murder. It should be legal, but they shouldn't be able to have a clean conscience. Also, I would definitely ban all of these later abortions because honestly, it's just cruel. There's a huge epidemic, especially for-profit organizations that sell parts that they harvest from these women. You know, it's not just blood sacrifice. They're literally selling parts of unborn children for money. And they also contribute to Democrats. Planned Parenthood is a good example. Money, money, money. Isn't that disgusting? Even a degenerate like myself absolutely finds that disgusting and immoral. Seriously, folks, it sickens me. And here you can see the Gallup story. Men and women generally hold similar abortion attitudes. As I said. And so we reach the end of our tale, folks. Hashtag sex strike. Pass it on. But that's merely the obvious. Well, that's all for now, folks. Let me know what you think about this hashtag sex strike. Let me know what you think about the whammons. And let me know if you support it or if you don't. And why not? If you want to support the work I do, you can join me on Patreon, Subscribestar, or by donating via PayPal. As always, thanks for watching. This has been Mr. Obvious, and I'll see you all next time.